Hi guys, Chess Learning for Life here, back with another video. So today we'll be looking over game 5 of my first classical tournament, and this time I'm playing with the black pieces against an opponent rated 1470, and this time my opponent starts off with the English opening, which I don't know why, but just this classical tournament I've been facing opponents that's playing the side, not sideline, but like the more unpopular openings. Like I face c4, I face knight of 3, and yeah, I've played like d4 e6, and he still insists in playing the Nimzo Indian. And yeah, so I just like whatever my opponent plays, I play my e6 system, play rock solid, and this just transposes into the French defense, which my theory goes up to here. I just remember knight f6, and if knight c3, I take the pawn with the knight. Cause here if I took with the queen, there is knight c3, and this would transpose into kind of a Scandinavian with this IQP. I chose knight of 6, but then there's a check, which bishop d7 was fine. Engine is saying knight bd7, and maybe b6, bishop b7. But I went for this bishop d7, and I missed b5 idea. Cause this whole idea is to force me to move one of these pieces to block my queen's scope, and now he defends with his knight and his bishop. Here I had to find b5 and a5, and maybe here if a4, then I take. Because if he takes, then I can take on d5. So here if a3, at least I gain some space here, right? And I could even play for b4, because like takes, and my pieces are very developed. But here I went for bishop c5 and even lost one more tempo after queen e2 check. Because here I don't want to trade off my queens, because after takes, do I take back with the bishop or with my king? Both are correct. But taking back with the bishop, just a waste of tempo. And taking with the king, there is rook e8, but the endgame is bad for me, so I didn't go for this. Instead, I dropped the bishop back and just say, yeah, I made mistakes in the opening, but punish me for it. Knight f3, castle, get my rook into the e file. Very standard. d4, opening the line of the bishop. Here I thought for a while, played for bishop f5. Apparently bishop g4 to open up the scope was better because it puts pressure for this pin. But I like bishop f5 because it controls this diagonal and prevents something like queen d3. Because I thought if bishop g4, he could just play like queen d3 and it's all fine. Here engine is saying c6 to trade off the pawns. Even trade it off like this and win back this d4 pawn, but white has the bishop pair, and like his pieces are not bad in coordination, and but engine is already giving +1 here after knight c3. Here c6 was still an option, but I just wanted to keep these weaknesses for me to attack. And sorry for skipping ahead, but here I calculated for maybe 20 minutes. I wasn't really sure what to do here, but I saw this move knight takes d5, which I'm gonna show you where I learned this idea from. So like in the French advanced variation, I like bishop d7, just very multi-purpose move. If you want to learn more, check out my French defense course. But just after bishop b5, I learned that you could take this pawn, and if he takes my bishop, I take back with the knight, and if he takes my knight, I take with the bishop. So this was my idea here. But yeah, I calculated all the variations. Knight takes, I take the bishop, and his queen is attacked. And bishop takes, I just take the bishop. I even calculating like takes, check, takes, and take here is better for me. But then there's just b takes c3, and it just solves all his problems. Now his center is strong, and still even takes queen d2, and then this is also fine, and this even keeps this weakness here. But then computer gives this line. After takes, there's queen b5, putting pressure on here, and I'm not really sure what's the problem right here. Bishop takes b7. Oh, bishop takes b7, and there's double attack, so maybe like g6. But then the queen takes down here, and even after maybe like this exchange, it's not that good, because after all this, I'm losing all my queenside pawns, and just bishop takes d5 on my knight was the refutation, but my opponent was just going rock solid, and here I was proud of finding this move. Knight 7 f6, knight 7 b6, and this just protects my knight. If you take, I take back, even on c4, because after takes, I can take back with the queen, and take, like this. And now my pieces are more active, and here he dropped back, very normal. I was attacking his bishop, and here I saw this IQP, right? So for the side fighting against the isolated queen's pawn, you want to trade off more pieces, so the pawn will become a target. So here's why I took the bishop, and I defended my knight. Now my queen is kind of paralyzed here, because after like a3, I spent like 25 minutes here. I was thinking about like bishop d3 for a while, but after like 10 minutes, I figured there's knight takes f7, and then queen takes d3. And then I was thinking about queen f6, but here takes 6, and this is just so equal symmetrical pawn structure, and this is maybe even better for white, because my bishop is the same color as my IQP, and I just have not much weaknesses to fight for. Not much weaknesses to like attack. So, and also a knight and queen combo is better than bishop and queen, just because knight can do whatever the queen can't do, and the queen can do whatever the knight can't do, and it just proves to be very strong. So this was not it. And then I was thinking about like queen d6, but then I can't fight for this open file. Like after queen d6, rook here, and then I couldn't take here, right? And this is just kind of a stalemate right here, and nothing really happens. And then I was thinking about queen d7, but then I was thinking like knight f3, and then knight e5 hits my queen, so that's not good. So here I just went h6, which is the top engine move. So I get this square for my bishop. But then I kind of missed this move. Is setting up a battery on h7 because my knight is on d5 instead of f6. Here the computer is still giving like takes and takes, but I just don't like giving up this open file. But turns out this outpost was good. Queen d3, g6 was fine. So, but I don't want to take the knight and eliminate this weakness, right? So I went queen f6. I was kind of low on time, so queen f6 I kind of blitzed it out because I thought g6, if he goes queen d3, which he does in the game, I need to go g6, and then maybe bishop f5 to trade off the light squared bishops. I would kindly trade off the light squared bishops because his bishop kind of proved to be a problem right here. And if I trade it off, then my knight outpost is very strong, and this weakness is also more obvious in the white camp. But here, his knights just come, sitting on g3 and preventing bishop f5. Here maybe king g7, a kind of prophylactic move was better, to kind of safeguard h6. Guard this f6 weakness, like a kind of act as a fianchetto bishop, but instead it's a king, and also maybe prevent future g6 sacrifices, which you see won't be a problem later in the game. Here I went rook a d8 because if he strikes in the flank, which is the king side, I gotta strike in the center, right? My rooks are very active. Rook fe1 was chosen, which puts pressure on this file. My queen, I didn't want to move away because, like, if I move d6, then knight e4 comes again. But engine says that moving my queen away is the best move, and I kind of need to play for a draw here because his attack is kind of strong. But here I went for counterattack c5. It's that principle again. If you attack my flank, I strike in the center, right? Here he went knight e5, which is kind of strange. I don't really understand what this move accomplishes. The only thing I saw is maybe like a6, then you can take on g6 because takes. Like, where does my king go? Maybe to f8, but after check and then h5, my king is just very exposed, and it's kind of game over. And if I block with my queen, there is rook takes e6, and if I take, he takes. If I take the rook, he takes my rook. So here I had to defend with knight f4, a multi-purpose move, attacking the queen and defending g6, and also I get to take on d4, which defends my knight. So here he was already like kind of knight e5 was already his first mistake, which kind of gave up his advantage. He should have played statically, like queen d2, and if I take, queen d2 attacks h6, king g7, and like striking with h4 to kind of use my g6 h6 pawns as hook pawns to open up lines. And here queen e3 still holds because after rook takes d4 there's knight f3, and here I need to play knight c4, queen c1, and I had to give up the exchange to save my knight. But instead he went to f3. Now there's no knight f3, and rook takes d4 is very safe. There is no knight e2. The knights can't attack my rook, so this is very safe position for me. Here he played rook e4. He even blitzed it out. I think he calculated mine rook takes d4, which was very obvious, and he saw this move. Now I want you to evaluate, is bishop d5 the winning move? Pause the video. 3, 2, 1. So if you did blunder checking, you would find out like bishop d5, it looks very good. Like I'm taking your rook next turn, right? If you take my knight, then I take your rook and I take your knight, right? And even like knight takes, queen takes, and here I'm just up a piece. And even knight f6 and then takes, then I'm still up a pawn, right? So here, even if like you can't even do rook takes because I take your queen, but here there is knight takes g6, which if I take the rook, then knight takes queen comes with a check, and now he could just take back with the bishop and nothing happens. And here I kind of calculate this line. I saw it as my only hope of winning, like takes, and oh, the queen is trapped, but it's not. There's still queen c3, rook c4, queen d2. And the most I can get is rook, knight, and pawn for my queen. But here it's very dangerous for both sides. But white has a queen, so he has more attacking chances. And so I didn't go bishop d5. Instead, I just took the rook, because why not? If he goes knight takes, then I just drop the knight back, and these are targets. And if he takes with the bishop, same thing. I just drop my knight back, and this looks very dangerous, but it's holdable. And my knights are supporting each other. My bishop is supporting the f7 square. This is kind of solid. You can't really come in. So he took back with the queen, which my first reaction was, huh? Like, why with the queen? And just let me clarify the position like this. Now I'm just up a pawn. If you take on h6, I take on b2, rook c1, and this is very ugly. I can go, like, for example, just bishop c6, and this is rock solid. You can try h4, but I evacuated my square for knight d5. Like, if you even go h5, then knight e3, bam. Line blocking, right? If you take my knight, I take your rook. And now I take your bishop, right? Like rook e1, I take your bishop. Takes. Doesn't work because I have this very nice. There is you can try knight f1, but I just take your pawn. But if you go h2, then I have queen h8, and I trade off your queen. Of course, I didn't see that. I just saw that like after rook c1, his position was very bad and cramped. Therefore, he goes for a queen trade. But after the queen trade, it was even more hopeless. And here, I gained space. f5, improved my king. Here, his knight reroute was very simple, aiming for the c3 blockade square. So I have the pass pawn, I have the extra pawn, so I aim to trade pieces by dropping back the bishop and evacuating the d5 square to challenge his knight on c3. And he trades. And here I didn't take on d5 with the bishop because I thought rook d1. If my king went to e6, calculate what's the problem. It's a one mover, f4, and my rook is trapped. And here I just have to give up the exchange. And if I don't go king e6, then f4 is still coming. I can play f4 myself, but there is rook d4 and g5, and this is kind of drawish. I didn't like this, so I took the rook, which is the right move. Now he even offers a rook trade. He thought for like 5 minutes. I don't understand this rook trade. It's just more hopeless after the rook trade. Like, you can maybe shuffle in the background, wait for me to make a move. But here, after the rook trade, I was very confident I was winning. After this move f4, fixating 2 more weakness here, and I have an outside pass pawn, which is a strength. So for chess, if you want to win, you need at least 2 weaknesses or like 2 strengths in your position, or 2 weaknesses in your opponent's camp. And here I have 1 strength and 1 weakness, and this decides the game, right? Here g5, rock solid. h4, I didn't even bother taking. I went b5. Now, putting pawns on the same color of my bishop is not good in principle standards, but here I just wanted to protect my pawn on c4, so when the king reaches c3, my bishop was still active. And here I could have still just ran my king first, but I just went b5 because I wanted to prevent a4, because here maybe like a4 was annoying, but my king goes to d4 in time before his king reaches c3. So this is still very winning, but this is how I converted it. Not allow his king to d4, and I took on h4. Sorry. I took on h4, and now my idea is just h3 and bishop takes f3. Here even like g4 was winning, but here I give him 1 more pawn, right? So I just dropped my bishop back, ready for h3, and here g takes bishop takes is hopeless because my bishop goes to g2 and my pawn runs. So here my opponent resigned after h2. Now very nice comeback, to be honest. Like, my opening and middle game was screwed. I played so badly, but I capitalized on his mistake in the late middle game, and I converted the end game pretty nicely, and now I'm 3 out of 5 in my tournament. And this video was kind of long, I'm sorry, but the game was also long, right? So makes up for it, and very educational game to show that just never give up and really just spend more time in the middle game, because the end game comes smoothly, right? I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you find it interesting and educational. Like and subscribe for more chess content. Stay tuned for Game 6, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.